What do you notice? And as you're like, my son looks at me, my kids look at me, right? And they're watching what dad's doing, and you're going through your process. How do you see what's changed with your dad in the second term versus the first term?
Well, he's Donald Trump first term on steroids, right? I mean, it's amazing. And like, he's the Energizer Bunny, right? He's the Energizer Bunny that wears a suit, a red tie, and probably has more energy than the Energizer Bunny. I mean, listen, the guy's remarkable. He's having fun. And guys, I remember how painful it was in 2020, right? Like I thought we won. I think we did win, right? I really do believe that. Like, I don't think anybody really believes that Joe Biden got 16 million more votes than Barack Obama did. Listen, you might not like the guy, but he was charismatic as hell, right? And he was young. He had some shtick and everything else. Does anybody really believe that Joe Biden got 16 million more votes than Barack Obama? I personally don't, right? And we know everything else that went into that. And I remember sitting in the White House that night as the vote tallies, and we were winning until like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then everything reversed, right? And it reversed in a way that statistically, to the numbers guys over here, doesn't even make sense. And yet, kind of looking back, it was the greatest thing that ever happened. I mean, today we have the House, we have the Senate. You know, obviously we have the executive branch. We have a 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court. We have a media that is all but dead. We won the popular vote. We won every single swing state. We won Miami-Dade by 11 points. Guys, that hasn't happened in 37 years. No Republicans won Miami-Dade. Every state has tacked over to the right massively. It was one of the greatest defeats of person ever, by the way. Despite the fact in this book tour of hers, she's going out and saying that it was very, very close. I mean, it was like one of the greatest butt kickings in history, right? It was rather phenomenal. And now all of a sudden, he's got a cabinet of just killers in there that are having fun, that are kicking butt, taking names. You could have never had that in 2020. And so it's kind of interesting that God works in mysterious ways. And again, it hurts so bad at the time. And yet, looking back in retrospect, it's like the greatest thing that ever happened.
Who are some of the people, Eric, that on first term who are Congress or Senate or political folks or guys who are insiders, names that maybe we know, maybe some that we don't know, power players behind closed doors, who some of them were like, when you guys lost that one term, they would try to say, you see, you guys got lucky with your first term. See what happened over here? That are now very respectful. And it's like, oh my God, Eric, how are you? Oh, Donald, yes, you know. Have you noticed that evolution with some of these guys that try to punk you guys and now they're begging for forgiveness?
Oh, there's no question about it, guys. I mean, there's 1,000 of them. You know, when my father went through the financial stuff in kind of, the early 90s, he always talked about a time where the phone stopped ringing. And you better believe that was the beginning of 2021. Right after that, there was a time where the phones just went quiet. The people that you thought would have otherwise been your life, they just disappeared completely. And it's actually a great lesson for life, right? People want to be there when you're winning, and your true friends are actually found in the lowest times. Like, know who they are, remember them, grab onto them, hold on to them, dismiss everybody else. And by the way, it's so funny. Now, 2024, all of a sudden, everybody comes back. Oh, hey, buddy, I'm so sorry I haven't reached out in 3 years. I was with you the entire time, but I know how busy you were. And you're like,
yeah.
Are you allowed to curse on this podcast? I'm like, you're so
Yeah.
And honestly, just X those people from your life. But that's also in business, right? Like the people who weren't there when you had that crappy time where your business was suffering, when you were, emboldened in debt, just forget those people. Turn them off. Never go back to them. And remember who helped you in the worst times. Those are the people you want with you in the trenches.
Who are those people that stuck by Trump's side no matter what? January 6th, no what? Like, who are the people that are still there to this day that were there from day one?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's start with family, right? I mean, and I think that's maybe a greatest testament to a father. I think if, going back, if I wanted one thing for my child or my children, right, it's the fact that, they never deserted me. They were there. They took more bullets than you can possibly imagine, and they just weren't able to break that family unit. Because you mentioned coming up on stage to, have 20 kids, 100%. There's nothing more beautiful than family, and there's nothing more beautiful than, cohesive family that fights together, that loves each other, and that they just can't break. I mean, I think that's kind of like the great American, dream. So you've got a lot of people. You've got a lot of people that were truly amazing. One of them is Dan Scavino. I mean, you know Dan very well, and kind of runs all social media. He's been absolutely phenomenal. He was there by my father's side, nonstop, 24/7, and they tried to get these guys. They tried to break these guys, and they just wouldn't. And yet there's a lot of people that did break, right? I'd argue that Pence broke, and I would argue that Scaramucci broke, and I mean listen, I could go down the list of people who otherwise deserted. I mean, 3/4 of the White House became very, very quiet in 2020, right? They just kind of quietly slipped out the door. Many of them actually didn't even make it to the final day. I remember sitting there at Andrews Air Force Base when we were departing to go back down to Florida for the last time, and you had this great group of friends around him, and then a lot of that White House staff that you otherwise would have thought would have been there that were begging in the best of times were noticeably quiet or noticeably absent. And so it's just, listen, I think it's how life works. It's unfortunate. It's rather sad. But again, you go back into 2024, embracing the people who were there in the lowest times, which means that they can survive any war, any battle. They're the ones you want in those trenches.
So we're looking at this book right now. If you're watching this and you're loving the podcast, this will be at the end of every single one of the clips. We would like to see if we can do something. Okay, collect. Thank you so much. I would like you, if you're watching this, to go support Eric Trump. We're going to put the link below. Buy a copy, maybe buy 2, maybe buy 5 and gift it to somebody. It's number 30. Let's, in the next 24 hours, help this book become #1 on all of Amazon. If you can buy 10, order 10. Let's send a statement. The book comes out October 14th. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.